Good afternoon everyone. So in this video we are going to discuss the X-ray powder diffraction technique. So why this technique is used means to find the identification of the crystalline material. So for that this X-ray powder diffraction it is used, and also it can provide the information about the cell dimension. So that this X-ray powder diffraction technique it can used over here. So then comes into the what is the X-ray diffraction. So it is going to study the crystalline structure in the solids, mainly to find the defects and the stresses, and also this X-ray beam, the wavelength, it will be ranging from 0.07 to zero point 0.2 nanometer. So it may be depends on the work we are going to find it. So then it is diffracted by the crystallized specimen along the Bragg's law, like minus lambda is equal to 2d sine b. So here d is the interplanar distance and the lambda is the wavelength of the X-rays. Okay, so the intensity of the diffracted beam measured the function of diffraction angle 2v. Okay, so actually this is the theta, not v. So 2d sine theta, so it is the 2 theta. So and the angle is 2 theta. Okay, so here the point, so similar to like in the Johansson optimeter in the comparator, same like here also the angle we are going to find. So then comes into the next thing. So the X-ray powder diffraction. So here it is a technique, primarily it is used to find the phase identification, and the analyzed material finally ground homogeneous, and average bulk composition is determined over in this technique. Okay, and the X-ray wavelengths is similar to the spacing planes of the crystal lattice. Okay, then comes into the main parts of the this X-ray powder diffraction. That is the X-ray tube. So this is the X-ray tube as well as the beam, incident beam, and the sample. So this is the sample, and here the sample holder will be there. So both the things, and also receiving side optics, and finally the detector. So these are all the main components. Okay, so this is the X-ray powder, the uh, the components. So soft X-ray, sensitive CCD, applied magnetic field, condenser zone plate, plane mirror. So these are all the things. So in this the other thing, the theta is we are going to measure the beam wavelength. So from the horizontal sample goes, it will be theta. Okay, while the beam is projected towards straight, so from there to here the angle is we are going to consider as a 2 theta. So if you see in this diagram, if you see over here, from here to both the side, this beam deflection and this will be theta only we are going to take over here. So that is the point we have to remember. So that is they are showing over here, that is the theta. Okay, the angle is the theta. Okay, so the spacing from here to here, that is the this spacing. The beam is projecting over here, so that will be diffracted beam projected over towards the detector over in this manner. Okay, so then comes into the principle of working for in this X-ray powder diffraction. That is the, it is based on the constructive interference monochromatic X-rays, a crystalline sample. So these X-rays are generated by the cathode ray tube. So and it is filtered to produce the monochromatic radiations, and collimated to concentrate on the directed towards produce the monochromatic radiation, direct towards to the sample. So this interaction of the incident ray with the sample produce the constructive interference. So when the conditions of satisfy the Bragg's law, so n lambda is equal to 2d sin theta. So this law it will be related to the wavelength of the electromagnetic radiation to the diffraction angle and the lattice spacing in a crystalline sample. So these diffracted X-rays, so here the diffracted X-rays are then detected, processed and counted by scanning the sample through the range of 20 angles. So all possible diffraction directions of the lattice should be attained due to the random orientation of the powder material. Okay, so here conversion of the diffraction peaks to de-spacing. It allows to identification the mineral because each mineral has a set of unique de-spacing. So typical mainly this can achieve comparison of de-spacing with standard reference pattern. All the diffraction methods are based on the generation of X-rays in an X-ray tube. So these X-rays are directed at the sample and diffracted rays are collected. So a key component of all diffraction is the angle between the incident diffracted rays. Okay, so powder and for single crystal diffraction vary in instrumentation beyond this. So in the X-ray powder diffraction, see this is the incident beam, the crystalline material, diffracted beam over here, and transmitted beam. So this is the diffraction pattern record. So mainly why XRD is used to measure the average spacing between the layers. So for the layers or row of atoms, for that this it can use, and also it will be determine the orientation of the single crystal or grain, and also find the crystalline structure and unknown material. So it will be going to measure the size and shape of internal stress and small critical regions. Then comes into the application of XRD. So here the X-ray powder diffraction is most widely used in the identification of unknown crystalline materials. Okay, and mainly the minerals, inorganic compounds, for that it is used. So those crystalline material to find out it can be used this technique. So determination of unknown solids is critical studies, geology as well as environmental science, material science, engineering and biology. So it use. So this application it will include the characterization of the crystalline material, identification of fine-grained minerals such as clays, mixed layer clays that are difficult to determine optically. So determination of the unit cell dimensions and measurement of sample purity. Okay, so these are all the applications, and advantages of this XRD is the uh, it is provide unambiguous mineral determinations, and also minimal sample preparation is required, and data interpretation relatively straightforward work in this XRD. That is advantages of XRD. Then comes into the limitations over here. Homogeneous and single phase material is best identification of an unknown. Okay, so peak overlay may occur versions for high angle reflection. So these are all the limitations, and also for mixed materials, direction of limit is 2% of sample. Okay, so these are all the limitations for in the uh, XRD. Okay, so this is about the XRD, that is X-ray powder diffraction. Okay, thank you.